Today is Saturday, the 13th of January 2024, and we are gathered here for the 115th session on mindfulness for beginners in the English medium. And to our great fortune, we have Venerable Manu Rohini joining with us in today's session, and she's representing Nissarana Vanaya Forest Monastery, and she's joining us from Auckland. We would like to welcome her with great respect to today's session on behalf of all of us. Furthermore, I would like to welcome all of you who are joining through the Zoom session and as well as probably through the Facebook live stream. Today is the 115th session, and we will commence as usual with the in-session practice to give you a bit of flavor of the practice directly at the beginning, and then we will move on to the talk being continued from last week, and then we will move on to the question and answer session where we present reports received for today. So I would hand over the microphone to Venerable Manu to commence with the in-session practice. Over to Manu. Much merits.
Thank you, Namantha. I think according to our topics, the bipolar or the lows and highs, I thought we will do some walking practice. So that is the best for bipolar actually. Walking meditation. Anyone even without bipolar, for a normal person, if we are very excited or disappointed, so if our emotions are not regulate, so walking meditation is the mindful walking is the best. So we will do today mindful walking. So today we can practice the awareness of one-pointed. One-pointed means, so you can choose one thing. For example, how you feel the surface where you walk, or how you feel when your knee bend, or how you feel the weight shift from one side to the other. So likewise, one thing we can focus on, and whenever the distraction happens from outside or within, we can bring back to the attention to the given object. So keeping that in mind, shall we do some walking practice for a couple of minutes? Or how long?
It's usually 15 to 20 minutes for the in-session practice for us usually. Yes.
Okay, so we will do 15 minutes. Okay, everyone. I hope we all had a good mindful walk. So over to now, you, Namanta.
Thank you very much. It's Manu. Next, we have the talk coming up, which is being continued from last week. So I would like to invite Venerable Manu again to commence with the talk for today. Over to Manu. Thank you.
Thank you, Namanta. Yeah, so today we are taking the same topic as about highs and lows. So I think we all know about what we are talking about and what context we are talking about. So according to the last week talk, so I'm going to a little bit continuation, or maybe I can say in a different aspect of this topic. I'll try to touch. So here, first of all, I like to say that what is high and low. So what is highs and lows in our emotional background? So usually we say when we are happy or when we are in a excited mood, desires are there. So we say we are in high emotions. So if we are in a sad, angry, or jealousy, frustrated mood, so we say we are in low mood, or we are in lows. But in here, I would like to say these things. When we talk about high and low, it is if just imagine x and y axis. So when we talk about high and low, it is about y axis. So we have highs and we have lows. So we have high emotions, we have high low emotions. So it is fluctuate, or it is shift from over the y-axis. But if you consider the x-axis, there are some high emotions or highs and lows. And in x-axis, there are some, those emotions we take as attachment. Okay, sometimes we attach to those thoughts. We attach to those feelings. Sometimes we have aversion towards those feelings. So then our emotions shift from or shift over the x-axis. So these highs and lows are in y-axis, and attached or desires and hatred, or in other words, aversion is in x-axis, but far away from x-axis. So if we talk about the middle one, or the zero, so zero has 4 directions. That point has 4 directions. One is up and one is down. The other one is left and right. So up and down is like highs and lows. So we can have most emotions. So during our day-to-day life, we have all those of emotions. We don't need to be a bipolar or not need to be a bipolar person. But normal life, we have that kind of emotional, shifting emotion. So from one to the other, from high to low. But those emotions, if we are not attached to them, or if we are not have any aversion towards them, so those emotions are emotions only. The problem is we attach to that emotion, or we have that hatred feeling or aversion towards that feeling. So that is the problem in our life. So if we can move away or detach from that emotional feelings, emotion, either it high or low, it doesn't matter. The problem is in there. How we accept it, or how we think about it. What is the gravity we give about those thoughts or about those emotions? So this is the problem. So talking about that, in here I would like to say what cause for highs and lows. In when I think about the reasons behind those highs and lows, first one it came to me is expectations. When we have some kind of expectations, when we lost that expectation, we have lows. When we gain that expectation, we are happy and we have high. So, for example, if one incident, for example, there's a one incident in office or at home, maybe in a social get together, there's a one incident, but some people will be happy, and some people will not happy about that incident. So I would say like if someone is not happy about that person's job, so one person is happy about his job. There is a one about the happy one, and there is the other one is not happy. But the boss fired both of them. So they terminate the job. The manager terminate the job. One is having that job as a good thing. The other one is thinking, okay, I'm not happy about the job. So both are not thinking, or both are not having same emotions towards that decision. So one is not happy because he liked that job. The other one is not happy because he doesn't like the job. So likewise, what we expect, the expectation is there to judge whether we are having the high emotions or the low emotions. So these expectations actually not only related to the day-to-day life, even in meditation. When we expect something while we are sitting or while we are doing walking meditation, if we expect the meditation should go smoothly, I should have done in very nice way. Okay, I can observe all the steps throughout the 15 minutes, or I can observe the breath throughout my sitting meditation. So if we have that kind of expectations, then when it not happen, we have highs and lows. If it happen, then it's highs, we are happy. If it doesn't happen, then we are in a lows. That means we are not happy and we have a kind of frustration. So this is expectation. The expectations sometimes it is the reason for our highs and lows. And those expectations also, when we have expectation, when it happened, we have the attachment for that. When it happened, we are happy. When the whole 15 minutes, if we can do mindful practice throughout the 15 minutes, then we are happy and we are attached to it. So we are happy and we are expecting the next sitting session, or we are expecting for next walking session. So these are the one, this expectation is the one giving us such a suffering, such a sad mood when it happen highs and lows. So the second thing is imaginations. When we have imaginations, we have expectation as well as imagination. This is the way it should be. So we have imaginative expectations. Maybe it will not happen. Maybe it will happen. But it doesn't matter if it happen or not. We have that imagination. So maybe, for example, I will be the best top of a university or something like that. So we have that imagination, and when it happen, if it is the road to that imagination is clear, we are happy. If it is not clear, we are not happy. So it goes highs and lows. So, for example, in spiritual side, if we do sitting meditation thinking, okay, I will enter to the extreme entry level, and when it is not happen, so we are not happy. So it is going lower. So it's the frustration is there. So when we sit for sitting meditation, then when the other people are sitting nicely and quietly and calm, so we think that everybody else is having good session. But me, I am struggling. So when that happen, maybe the other people also are struggling, but my imagination says, deal with, okay, other people are good. So they are having good session. But compare with me, they are having good session. So that's what I think. But in the reality, they are facing the same distraction. They are facing the same distractions, and they are not having good session. Because of my imagination, I feel frustration. I feel sad. So I am disappointed. So those are the imagination. That's how it develop our highs and lows. So if we don't have imagination, so if we don't attach to those imaginations, we can have a little bit of detachment from highs and lows. There can be highs and lows. Still there can be highs and lows. Sometimes when we have a good walking session or sitting session yesterday, so we imagine that will happen today as well. So when that won't happen, so our imagination and our expectation is destroyed. Our expectation is not longer valid. So what will happen next? So our frustration is there, then emotions are going low. So maybe the next time we are not coming to sit also. Likewise, so expectations and the imaginations are most of the time gives us lows and high emotions. The other thing is other people's expectations. So sometimes not only my expectations, sometimes other people give some expectations towards my decisions or towards my work or towards my behavior. For example, exams, mom and dad give some expectations for children. Sometimes friends give some expectations, sometimes husband, sometimes wife. So what has happened with those expectations? When we can't deliver, when we can't achieve those expectations, we have this high and lows. That's also a problem. That's also a kind of cause to make highs and lows. The other thing is lack of acceptance. So sometimes, not most of the time, we are not happy to accept whatever we get. For example, accept the results of an exam. So sometimes we are not happy about it. So sometimes we hear that some parents, when their children achieved 96% of the marks, but they are still questioning what has happened to the rest of the 4. So likewise, the others' expectations and lack of acceptance is also a cause for low and highs. So when these things happen, even though the child had for successful examination results, still they are not happy because of the others, the lack of acceptance. In the mindfulness practice also, sometimes we are not happy about our results. We sit thinking that, okay, throughout the session, throughout the 15 minutes or half an hour, we can sit nicely. We can observe the breath, in breath and out breath, and we can observe the qualities of the breath. We think so. Sometimes we think, okay, we can go to a kind of concentration level. So when we can't achieve that, we are not like to accept it. Because of this, even though we sit for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, and we achieve some kind of concentration, also some kind of mindfulness is there. Maybe out of 30 minutes, we are mindful for 20-25 minutes. But still, if we are not accepting it like an achievement, so then we have a frustration. So then we have, okay, so even meditation-wise, okay, so I didn't have the good sitting session. So those are some kind of lows and highs we experience during our sitting and walking sessions. Even in the day-to-day life, sometimes we think we can be mindful in some kind of activities. So while we are having a cup of tea or having a shower also, but when we can't, we feel that frustration because the acceptance is not there. The other thing is lack of tolerance. So we don't have that kind of tolerance. Sometimes when, if someone is blaming us, if someone is accusing us for no reason, we are not happy to tolerate it. We are not happy to think about it. Let that person having a space to think. We don't like to do that. So out of our conceit, we like to argue with that person, or we like to confront that person. So those things happen because of that. So we are having ups and downs, so lows and highs, because of the tolerance level is low. So if we have that developed tolerance level, if we can tolerate any words or any non-verbal abuse or some kind of not really abuse, but some kind of low emotions, if we can't tolerate it, we are trained to react. Those reactions may later on, maybe that those reactions gives us lows and highs. So, for example, when we are doing meditation, when we are practicing sitting meditation, when the outside obstacles, so when the distraction from outside happen, if we can't tolerate it, so the sounds are coming from the neighbor's house, maybe they are playing loud music. So when we can't tolerate it, so we are in a low mood. So we are in a lows. We are not happy. We are having frustrated thoughts. So that is from lack of tolerance. So these are the cause most of the time I can gather. So those are the causes for lows and highs I can think of. But when we consider those reasons, if we can detach from those, as I mentioned in the beginning, so we have two axes, X and Y. So Y is the high and low. So when your emotion is high, when you are happy, and when you are in a good, calm, collective manner, so that your emotions are in high level. So when you are sad and distracted by something, or angry or something, when you are in low level. But if you are not attached to those, when you are in a high, if you are attached to it, that make trouble. If you have the attachment to that any lows or highs, that makes the trouble, that makes the suffering, that make you unhappy in certain ways. And also, if you are in a lows, if you are sad, if you are angry, if you are frustrated, if you are hate, or if you hate towards that feeling, if there's an aversion towards that feeling, then also that the scale is magnified. So that suffering is magnifying. So it is not reduced. It is most of the time because of that aversion or the attached lust or desires make those emotions very magnified. But I say that because of this attachment, we feel it more than its gravity. Maybe it is a little thing, but if you're having hatred feeling towards it, maybe that gravity of that hatred feeling is expanding. So likewise, that we need to think there are maybe highs and lows in day-to-day life. In single second, 1 second maybe you are in a high mood, happy mood, and the next second, if you get the low thoughts or depressed thoughts, then you are in a low mood, the lows. But even in a next split second, it can happen. But if you are detached from that, if you are detached from that emotions, if you can detach from that thoughts like an outsider, if you can observe it like an outsider, if you can recognize as an outsider, then there's no harm actually. So the harm make from your attachment or from your hatred feeling. So always this is what happened. Even for, I think, fully enlightened one has thoughts. Fully enlightened one has feelings. But it is not attached. It is not, that person is not thinking my thoughts. That person is not thinking my feelings. That person is thinking it's a feeling as feeling. The thought as thoughts. It's not mine. So if you can detach from thoughts and feelings likewise, I'm not saying every time you can do it, but most of the highs and most of the lows, if we can behave like that, if we can think like that, if we can detach from those thoughts, thinking, it is not my thought, it is not my feelings, then you can have detachment from that feeling, and that thoughts will, maybe that's helping you to manipulate or helping you to manage your thoughts, helping you to manage that lows and highs and come to a middle point, a zero. So there's no attachment, there's no hatred feelings, there's no aversions, there's no lust or desires, and also the highs and lows are there. Highs and lows are there, but if there's no attachment or if there's no aversion towards that feelings, then you are in the middle. But you have the high and lows. You have highs and lows, but no attachments, no aversions. That means you are in a zero with that emotion. That means you are not attached. You are detached from that feeling. Feeling is there. Feeling is there. Feeling maybe is high, maybe is low. It doesn't matter, but you are not attached to it. You are not having any aversion towards that. So that means you are in a middle path, a middle way. Still, if you are having any desires to attach to the middle point, that's also harmful. Most of the time, we can't detach from that middle point. Most of the time, we can see emotions as emotions, thought as thoughts. It's not mine. It's not my emotion. It's not my thoughts. We can see it. Most of the time, we can see it. But when we come to the middle point, when we come to the 0 point, we like it. We like that equanimity. We like that serenity. We like that calmness. So what has happened, when we like that part, even in meditation, in practice, when we like that, it is the difficulty then we have to face. Because when we have a desire to be in that calmness, when we have desire to be in that quiet and not detached, not evasion, not any attachment, nothing is there. It's like couple of weeks ago we talked about the quantum physics. So we talk about the possibility, all the possibilities are there. So this is the point, 0 point. So the point where you are now landing in the point, there's no any attractions, no any attachments, no any evasions, but the feelings are there. You can see the feelings. You can see the thoughts are moving from, it's starting and moving away, starting and moving away. The feelings are there and feelings comes and go and thoughts are coming and going. But still you are in the 0 point, but you like it. That is also attachment. So when we have that attachment, it is so hard to get rid of that attachment, because it is that attachment is attached to the quietness, attached to the equanimity, attached to the calmness. So if someone says, okay, you need to give up that also, it is very hard. But what we need to practice is give up that. So maybe you are thinking, what I mean by giving up that 0 point, the middle point. What I mean by giving up that middle point is, if you have a desire to be there, when you are practicing mindfulness practice, in sitting or walking, if you have a desire to be in that calmness, if you have a desire to be in that quietness or emptiness or the equanimity level, then that means your desire protecting you, or your desire distracting you to go there. So that is acting like another attachment. So if you think, for example, if you think in a sitting, mindful sitting, before you are sitting, maybe you think, okay, yesterday I had that quiet and equanimity place where I was so calm and so feeling well, very, very well. So I saw those thoughts are coming while I was sitting there. I saw the thoughts are come and go, and I saw the feelings are come and go. But I am so still, and I am not having any attachment or any aversions toward those. So that place is so good. If I can have that again today, if you have a desire, if you have attachment to that place, is also a attachment. It is also a distraction to our practice. So saying that, what we need to do, we need to make detachments from when we are practicing. When we do our practice, we need to detach from all the feelings, highs or lows. Also their thoughts, highs or lows, and need to look at them like someone else, or like an outsider, just observer, just aware about it. And when we come to that middle part, the middle point, without any attachments or hatred feelings, you need to detach from that level as well. You need to have not any attachment to this equanimity level. So if you need to practice, if you need to have a progress, you need to do that detachment, or not to attach to the calm and quiet and equanimity level. So for that, you need to have without any expectation, without any imagination, you need to sit. You need to accept whatever happened. So saying those things, I will wind up the talk, Namanta. I hope something you get from this thought coming from my mind, and I hope it is helpful for all of your the journey you are trying to go. And thank you, Namanta, and thank you everyone for listening.
Much thanks to Venerable Manuel. Yes, it is indeed helpful to grasp the depth of this attachment in this manner, in this light, especially with regard to the middle point, where you can get attached to the middle point, which is also not the greatest of things. So we would next move on to the question and answer session, and I would like to invite Sonali to commence the question and answer session, and I will share the screen for the initial introduction.
Thank you, Namanta. Avasrai Manuel. So before we start the question and answers, we will run through the guide, beginner's guide for mindfulness. There are a couple of videos that Nissarana has produced to us in order to help us with the starting of the meditation process. One is about mindful walking and the next about mindful sitting. So these two will help you give it a good start as to how it is done. And if anyone has requested it from you, as they may have done very well from me as well, they have requested, how do I start? And this is a good video to send them to get them started. Once you watch them, set aside some time to start your meditation and make it a daily process. The recommendation is making up to 2 hours of each day. And once you have experienced it for yourself, we would like to hear from you if possible. Write it in a reflection report and send it over to us so we can present it to the manual or Bhante and get their feedback on how you can progress further. So there are 2 ways of sending it to us. One is via email, which is beginnersenvy@gmail.com. The others via the Google form. We check that weekly and we will present them for feedback. All these details are now in your chat session. If anyone needs any of these links, copy them and send them over, or ask any of us and we are happy to send it to you. Right, so we usually present reports to Manu or Bhante at this point, but unfortunately we don't have any reports to report today. We have no reports via the Google form or the email today. So I would like to ask anyone if they have any questions or any feedback on today's or anything that they'd like to discuss on today's session. Of the highs and lows. And as Manu explained, it's a very graphical way she explained for us to understand today. And so if anyone has any questions or any thoughts, we'd like to hear from you. Please raise your Zoom hand and ask your question. We'll let you unmute and speak. Seems very quiet today, Venerable Rohini. Oh, there is Namant who wants to ask a question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sonali. With your permission, Venerable Manu, I would like to kind of raise an observation as well as turn it into a kind of question. Now, when we come to the middle, instead of going to both ends or both extremes, sometimes you can feel that the midpoint is also not very stable, like there's no exact or absolute middle point. Like it's a relevant or relative middle point, and there's some oscillation in the middle point. Like you are not completely happy, you're not exactly neutral, you are a little bit happy or a little bit unhappy. So I think the middle point or the middle has also some sort of a changing vibration, which is when you observe very carefully, there is a very subtle, annoying nature to the middle point. I think in certain teachings, the middle point is very well praised, but if you really observe that, you see some discomfort in the middle point as well, and that has led me to not be very pleased with the middle point or the absolute neutral, because it's not absolutely neutral, it's a oscillation. When you look very carefully, I just wanted to raise it as a point, so that the Venerable Man, you can also add some insight and advice. Thank you.
Yeah, good question. Actually, Navant, good report actually, because when that middle point, still when we are in a middle point, still we have that either attachment to that middle point or aversion towards the middle point, because some people like the two extreme. Some people like to observe the breath again and again rather than observing the middle point. So when those attachment or the aversion is there, it is the subtle aversion, subtle attachment is there actually. So that subtlety, maybe if you are very, very mindful, if your concentration is high, you can see that subtlety. You can see that vibration, because your mind is going there and withdrawing it, going there and withdrawing it, because of that either hatred feeling or aversion towards it, or the attachment towards it. So these two are happening all the time. So that's why we say, okay, you need to do it again and again, maybe 100 times, maybe 1,000 times, maybe million times, until you have no attachment, no aversion. Then that subtlety is becoming a neutral, or no vibrations there. So still, when you are not familiar with that, until you are getting more and more familiar to that point, you have that vibration, you have that withdrawn feeling of going there and withdrawing, going there and withdrawing, because that sometimes we have that what do you call, insecure feeling. When we don't have any outside contacts, when we don't have the breath in front of us, the insecure feeling is there. So that also make that subtlety, that also make the vibration, that also make that it is not a good place to live. So likewise, there are many reasons for that. One is, I can say, the aversion or hatred feeling about that, because most of the people like that observing the breath, because it is in there, so you can feel you are alive, you can feel you are in this world. So when you lose in that connection from the outside with you, you have a subtle feeling about that, a subtle feeling, angry feeling or hatred feeling or fear in there. So that fearful feeling make you withdrawing it from the equanimity level, from that animitta, or from that there's no any signs. Saying that, sometimes when you live there, you have feeling that I am living. There is a perception showing you I'm not dead. Although I don't feel my breath, although I don't feel any outside attachments or any outside objects, I am living. That feeling is there. So that feeling you get from the perception, there you have the perception that I am living. So some kind of perception is there. It can't explain in words. So when you go there, you can feel that, okay, I am living. I am not insecure. So that feeling, until that feeling until you experience that feeling, that fear is there. So you need to practice again and again, maybe million times, until you have that secure feeling, until you accept it. So the acceptance is more important in there. So I hope I explained Is there any?
Yes, one more question. Thank you so much for that. So with that, when the feeling changes from insecurity to security, do we stop there or do we keep on looking at that as well?
Yes, when we go there, we need to look at it. That is the really, that is the time real insight meditation is start. Before that, we are doing insight meditation, but it is on a surface level. So we are just avoiding any unwholesome thoughts or unwholesome deeds, avoiding all the unwholesome thoughts coming from outside because of the outside objects. We are keeping away. So until now, until this point, the middle point, we are keeping away the outside obstacles, outside perceptions from outside. So we are keeping away from those things. When you come to the middle point, you don't have any perceptions from outside. When that happens, when you don't have any aversion or any attachment to that middle point, then only start the real insight meditation. Then only that any desires, any hatred feelings, any attachments, any kind of defilements you born with, you have in your mind coming up as different perception. It is within you that those perceptions coming from you, not from outside, not from ears, not from eyes, not from nose, not from tongue, not from body, not from your nostrils as a breath. So it comes only from your inside. So that is the real insight meditation. That is the real eradicating kilesa is happening.
So can it can turn from security to insecurity, then back to security. It can go on like a cyclical thing.
Yes.
Okay.
It can happen even for 1 hour session. It can happen many times, 4 or 5 times. Sometimes, it depends on the person and it depends on the time. Even in the same person, even for the same person, different time has different results.
Okay.
So you need to observe the best result. When you get the best result, you need to observe what has you done before that. For example, now I sat for 1 hour and then I had a very good results. Then you need to go back to your daily routine today. What have I done to have this kind of meditation effect? So maybe you had after bath, you sit. Maybe you had a cup of warm water or whatever it is. So you need to follow that. And you need to give that preference to sometimes it works. Even Bante, Lokuswaminas also says, sometimes it works. So most people think that after having bath, it works because it's, reduce the stress from outside. And especially in a country like Sri Lanka.
Okay. It's very insightful. Thank you very much and much best to Venerable Manuel. Thank you.
You are welcome, Amanta.
Thank you. I can see there's one more question. Would you like to unmute and ask your question, Panchani?
Avasara, Venerable Rohini.
Yes.
Venerable Rohini, at this point of my life, because I'm going through some particular low points with my worldly life, as well as, the only thing that keeps me going is going into equanimity, to the zero. And I know I seek it to escape from my suffering, and to transfer it, I have to go there. And I know I'm attached to it, but that's the only thing that kind of keep me going at the moment. Just wanted to tell you that, really.
Yeah, so sometimes some people share their experience with me also. they says, after, when they prefer that point, because after that they can sleep well.
Yes.
So, yes.
All
Some
tension
people-
disappears. And also you can turn it into metta, karuna, mudita, the equanimity is there. So all the other like aversion thoughts, you can transform them into, you can see it from a different angle. For the person that's created you the aversion, you can actually transform it into metta and see it in a different light when you go there.
Yeah, but my point is, while you are in that equanimity level, you are not able to do any other kind of like metta, karuna, anything, or because if you are moving towards those things, or if you are having any thoughts, that means you are not in equanimity. So if you
No,
get,
Manu.
yeah,
No,
please.
what I mean is when I come out of it, you can
Okay,
see
yes. So you have that calm and quiet mentality, the mindset. So then you can spread your metta. Yes, true. But remember, so if we want to stay in the, how do you call it? When you build 2 stories, 3 stories building, 3, 4 stories building, you have the outside, how do you call it?
Scaffolding.
Scaffolding, yeah. So if you want to live in a scaffolding, you can live, Panchani. So that when you attach to this middle point, it is like you are living in the scaffolding, not building your building. So rather than building the 2-story or 3-story building, you are staying. You are having the, how do you call, bed and breakfast, everything in the scaffold. So rather you need if you accept any or expect any progress, you need to give up the scaffolder and go into the house. If you stay in the scaffolder, or if you go back to the bunker, you can't fight with the, how do you call, the rebellions. The rebellions is like Kelesa. The rebellions are fighting. So if you have any kind of fear, so you can stay in that equanimity place. So you can stay there without fighting with the rebellions. It is like in a bunker.
So
It is
Manu,
a
I
cool
find
place.
that, yeah, but when I don't go there, Manu, all the aversion comes again, and then I'm creating more suffering for myself.
Yeah, that is the point, Panchani, because when you are in that middle point, your mind is very clear, and then you can see through those aversion feelings. You can see through. You need to penetrate it, not suffer from it. When you have that aversion, when you have hatred feelings towards someone or towards something, or at that point you can penetrate it. You can see, why am I hate for that person? Why am I having that hatred feeling towards that person? Why am I having this hatred feeling? So you can observe it, and you can how do you call it? Analyze it.
Yes,
By
Manu.
Yes.
Yeah, I do it, Manu. I do it, and then I can see it's my own craving that is giving me that. I can see it, but then it comes back again and again.
Yeah,
If I
it will
don't,
come.
it comes back.
Definitely it will come, but first time it will have a high intensity. When you analyze it and you let it go, when the second time it will come. Yes, definitely it will come. Then second time when you analyze it, you will find its intensity is lower than before. So the third time it will come. Then it is lower than before. So you will realize it is getting less and less. So if you hide it and stay in that equanimity level, stay in a calm, quiet place, that hatred feeling is developing it. how do you call, multiplying. Instead, if you can analyze it and if you can penetrate it, then it's dilute. Day by day, every time you analyze it and every time you try to penetrate it, it's diluting. One day it will, how do you say, you can get rid of it completely, destroy it. But if you keep it hide, thinking that, okay, no, it's suffering for me, I prefer to stay in that calm and quiet place for long, and it is for happiness for me, then that's what happened.
I hope it will happen in time, Manuel. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
For the people who have questions, I think we have, is that a raised hand, Hiranti?
Can I unmute myself? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Thank you. Manyok, I want to ask, when you have expectations from other people especially, can't you really think of yourself? Because if you keep on building expectations from other people, and if it's not happening and you get agitated, angry and all that, you think of yourself as the important person because you are the one who wants to, get, obviously, if we are aiming at enlightenment or gaining progress, shouldn't you be just ignore them and then carry on with your life? That's what I normally tend to think, because if I'm expecting from my close people, and if they are not seeing the things as I do, then I only get agitated. So you ignore and you carry on thinking you are the one who wants to get out of this mess. Because you were born, you associated them, you came, and in fact, there is no self in them as well, and neither me.
Yeah, so you are so true. It's true. That's what I said. When we have expectations, either from other people, or my expectation is there. My expectation means my expectation from other people. Also, it is included.
Mm-hmm.
So that is suffering actually, because that make you highs and lows. Definitely.
Yes.
If you expect something from, because most of the time we tend to do those things. We tend to help other people expecting they will help me back.
Exactly.
So that expectation is not valid, not happen always. Sometimes it will happen. Sometimes it will happen more than you expect. But most of the time it will not happen as you expect. So it is suffering. It is loss. Definitely
Yeah.
it causes loss. So the thing is, don't need to do anything with expectation from others. We don't, once Loku Swamin Wahanse told me, the Buddha didn't ask us to expect anything from anyone. So he said, no one for us, only you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, he said it to me once I was in Sri Lanka. So the things around me happened in a low level. So then he said, no, don't expect anything from anyone. So Buddha didn't ask us to expect anything from anyone. So you need to handle yourself, good or bad, right or wrong. It is your life. Yeah. Don't expect anything.
It's your karma. It's your karma that you are around people like that.
Yeah. If they do, it is bonus. If they don't do, no. Nobody is bound to help us.
Yeah.
No?
So if you carry on without, letting it touch yourself, and you do good things, even to them, and just carry on.
For you.
Yeah,
Hinanthi, if you
exactly.
do good thing it is for you, it is not for them.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I tend to think, because you are the one who wants to get out of this suffering.
Yes.
You can't take them.
Nobody, we can't take even Buddha couldn't take the Rahul
You
and
are.
little Thero. So yeah, so we can help,
Yeah.
but the help is also there's a limit.
Mm-hmm.
Because if once Buddha said, if you are in a mud, you can't help the other people who all those are in mud. You need to
Mm-hmm.
come out from the mud to help other people.
Correct. Yeah.
Otherwise, you are getting, in the mud.
Yeah.
So you need to come out.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Manu. I think it's clear. Thank you. Thero.
Thank you.
I can see there's one more hand raised, Manu. We can take that question as well. Nilamani, would you like to unmute and ask the question?
With great respect, Manu, few times when I was in a very low mood, it had happened while meditation. I realized that because it's all this because I am born, and when you are born, jati, jara, marana, and so for at the end I become happy and okay. I mean, I feel that I had got a solution for that problem. Like, is it? Am I in the correct path?
Yeah, of course. When you are in a meditation, please, if I am wrong, please correct me. I thought while you are in meditation, you dig deep, thinking that it is because of I have suffering. But please don't do any how do you call analyzing while you are in meditation session. Please come out from that, and then you can analyze your whatever your thoughts and whatever your feelings and your knowledge, inferential knowledge. You can adapt to your practice, but outside your meditation session, not within the meditation session.
Thank you, Manu. Thank you very much. I'll follow it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so that Venerable Lokuswamin Nansa always says, when there's a river flowing nicely, if you put your hand or leg, so your leg or hand will wet and the river is disturbed. So likewise, when you are doing meditation session, when you are doing practice session, if you put your knowledge, the book knowledge into that, so then you are putting your hand or leg into the nicely flowing river. So it is disturbed.
Yeah, Manu, I'll take that advice and I will follow it. Many merit.
Thero Saranai.
Thank you to everyone who has asked questions. We give it a few more seconds to see if anyone else will raise hands. We had some really good questions today. I don't see any more hands. Maybe it is time to continue on. Thank you very much, Manu, for all your insightful guidance to us. Now, Mantha, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Sonali, and much best to you for help conduct the question and answer session, and much best to Venerable Manu for very insightful responses throughout. Now our session is coming to a close. I would like to associate these gained merits with Venerable Manu and wish that this result in further advanced progress and flourishing of Manu's own practice into the future, and that we will also hopefully benefit from Manu's presence in future program sessions as well. Next, I would like to associate merits with Venerable Bhante Homagama Dhamma Kusala Thero, who is the usual host for this program, and wish him well in his own practices. And we would also like to share merits with the Most Venerable Bhante Udayirigama Dhammajiva Mahathero, the chief abbot of the Nissarana Forest Monastery, and who's taught us quite a lot over the years. And we would also like to share merits with all the wonderful organizers of this program who are working behind scenes to keep the program running like this. And I would like to also wish them a flourishing and success in their own missions in mindfulness practice. Furthermore, I would like to also thank all of you who have joined today and wish that these merits gained are shared with you and that you also will flourish into the future in terms of mindfulness practice. And usually, even we know it or not, the mind has enormous potential to reach very strong grounds of phenomenal strength, I would like to say, once you keep practicing this way. That's my experience, and you would not find belief to understand how strong you will eventually become when you keep on practicing. That's a factual thing in this kind of proven age-old technique that Nissarana Forest Monastery is teaching to us, because it's well proven method that's worked over years for many people. So with that, I would like to mention also that the program will continue next week at the same time in usual manner. And I would like to wish you all a happy and mindful week where you get to practice and strengthen your minds further in this direction of teaching of mindfulness. So I would close the Zoom session and hope to see you all next week. And again, grateful thank you to Venerable Mania for stepping up for today's session as usual in absence of Venerable Bhante, and hope to see you again as well. I will close the Zoom session. Thank you very much.